Guys, every time you're distracted by a phone or a game that's superficial and meaningless, or gambling for money, or do those little all the advertising. I watched the rest of that movie with Angie Bassett and Kevin Anderson, it's 2001. That was 25 years ago. Right? And then the irrational advertising on the site where the TV show's shown, for us to basically do time, and have the bear falling in the water and pushing the little things and doing the little arrows and not, and it's like, it's math. It's math. Trying to solve math problems, how to better manage your money. Guys, this manipulation, okay, of our time as human beings, okay, is a recent phenomenon because human beings have delusions of grandeur, okay, and they become exceedingly irrational self-destructions when they have these delusions of grandeur. And like Haile Selassie said, anything that you acquire from learning, if you use it for selfishness, you negate all the wisdom. Okay, so we're not functioning in any way, shape, or form as a global unity movement, and there's no wisdom whatsoever. Right? Any wisdom is abused in an office chair in New Mexico because, if they've taken the spirit of Solomon and plugged him into a computer, nobody has access to that wisdom because it's manipulated by a cow turd, right? And if there's someone like the Krishna or the Buddha or Jiddu Krishnamurti plugged into a computer, no one has access to that wisdom because it's manipulated by a cow turd that's going to have more robots than cars, right? And we don't need the fucking cars unless it's absolutely necessary, right? So getting up in an old car and pretending we're driving around with a girl that's supposed to be our daughter for advertising for $14 payout on a phone to buy something, or have Uber Eats send you food wrapped in plastic, is absolutely negating the wisdom of the Heart of Psalms and the Seed of Proverbs, right? The most gorgeous, loving, affectionate, intimate, romantic man alive today on planet Earth, with a cell phone, not playing games with animated bears falling into water or little arrows that I don't know what the fuck these people are doing. TikTok math classes, man, y'all fuckers are crazy. That's all I gotta say about that shit. Okay? That was 25 years ago. The little girl playing the daughter, she was 15 then. 25 years, she's 40 now. She's Hillary Duff's age and shit, And that latter bullshit, these people excessively exercising. Okay, exercise where it's healthy. Then plant a garden. Talk to your kids. Listen to your kids. That's the sky. It's blue. That's a nice color. Look at the rain. There must be a cloud in my head. Rain keeps falling from my eyes. Oh no, it can't be teardrops, 'cause a man ain't supposed to cry. But there's a building and people are bringing in make-believe money and smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol and incoherent brain activity, dancing and talking about sex as if it was love, and then having people not being able to look at the screen because it's uncomfortable for him to watch the so-called intimacy because it's not real. It's all to do payouts on video games on a phone, to stop aggressive, irrational activity that might get the people causing the activity killed by their own quantum computing and their own artificial intelligence, right? Can he look right through you? No, I can't, because I don't even want to look at you anymore. I'm tired of your shit. Okay, I don't need to look at you. You can go live in Kalamazoo. You can go live in Poughkeepsie. You can live in Cucamonga. Okay, but you're just going to be living the Lord's Prayer. The sky is blue. The clouds have rain. There's no pesticides. There's no herbicides. Nobody's starting a car that has a combustible engine in it that makes you sick, because those are the cars we used to drive during that time that we're pretending to be there when we should be right here. Right? Grab your husband, tell him you love him. Grab your kids, tell him you love them. Tell them you're sorry that they kept doing crazy shit like this, because they didn't know any better. It was 2001. Parsons hadn't been taken and challenged to eliminate all the delusions of charismatic cult leaders of Abrahamic religion until 2006. And he hadn't finished kicking their dicks into the fucking dirt till February 2011. And they couldn't stop trying to destroy him until January 22nd, 2013. And after that, he was already dead. And it was all over but the crime, according to all their science projects that said he's going to destroy everything we've ever done. No, you're going to. I'm just going to help you. You know me, man. Living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Heart of Psalms, seed of Proverbs. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love your mama, right? Swear to God, I dedicate my life to loving you. Just call me a one-woman lover. I can't even look at another. And I swear to God, so glad he's giving me you. And we are gathered here today as man and wife. And for God must know how I love you. So, yeah, guys, that's your family tree. As far as me, God does not have a plan for your life. Okay. The Lord, he didn't have a plan. He gave you perfect commands. And what you do with those perfect commands, don't make any plans. Just do right. I like Paul Davis though. So we got this. We're feeling good. We could, we should, we would. I wanted to meet that guy. Yeah. He was the one. It's funny. I was one of the guys that they know that at the genome sequencing, and all your top scientists that said I was an idealist and my religious beliefs were selfish. The two people I was most excited about with all that happening to me in Sierra Vista was, I wanted Michelle wanted to meet the Obamas, and I wanted her to meet Keith because he's my friend, and I wanted to meet Keith, and Keith died, and then Michelle died shortly after that. Then they ran me over in the parking lot of the Best Buy. January 22nd, 2013. And I've been there ever since. Well, it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there behind the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. So I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me right back down on my knees. I go to the movies and I go downtown and they tell me don't be hanging around. You speak inappropriately in front of people. You're Asperger's, you're savant. Yeah, they thought I was inappropriate. That's one of my favorite words. That's Andrew's word. It's appropriate. He's such a sweetheart. I wonder if he's doing okay and what he's doing now. Andrew was 18. That was shortly after 9/11, right? he was 18 then. That means that was like 2002 when Andrew was 18, turning 18. 2002. That was 24 years ago. Oh my gosh, he's in his 40s now. Wonder if he hooked up with Josie. Josie. She's a sexual predator. No, she just has good taste. She keeps hitting on you, Ralph. Like I said, she just has good taste. She was not. I want to have a baby girl. You don't want to have a baby. No. You're too young. It's too big of a responsibility. It's really hard. Then all the women told me, no, she's sexually predicating on you. It's like, no, she's not. She just has good taste. She's not sexually predicating on me. I'm going to direct her towards Andrew. If you had to have a baby, Andrew would be a wonderful father. He just adores you. I adore you too, but his adoration for you is different than mine. I have the same hopes and dreams and aspirations for other people's children as I do my own, right? I go to the movies and I go downtown. Remember Sandra? That was horrible, man. She was hitting on me real hard. They didn't want what she was doing with me. They said she was being too sexually aggressive. And after she grabbed my hand and put it on her boob, and I went, Sandra, you know how I feel about you, and you know what my wife's still. Take it easy. They had a car crash into her house, and bricks fell in on her body and injured her back. And she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't tell me that Jesus didn't want me teaching the Gospels that way and all that stuff. It was just the Rockefeller Foundation and everybody else trying to manipulate the narrative to keep me in a certain bed and get me to Cochise County and have Stephen Hawking, direct me to getting into Britney Spears' schoolgirl outfit and shit. Yeah. Isn't that horrible what horrible people are capable of doing when they're jealous of you and want to bring you down and don't want to, trust in the beauty that is you because you're a charismatic court lawyer according to them and you're too powerful of a person. You're more powerful than Spike Lee's and what's the other guy's name? Denzel Washington's imagination. No niggas should have that kind of power. No man should have that kind of power. And it's not power, it's influence because I've earned it, because people trust me, because I've earned it. Right? I won't put surveillance equipment in your house. I won't have scientists sexually manipulate and abuse the people in your house to try to make me look like the great world leader and great protector of sexuality. And, you look inefficient because you can't do it, because you wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't put cameras in your bedroom and tell lies to your wife and tell your wife, see, he's going to ruin all your hard work. He's going to destroy everything you worked for because he has ego problems because he thinks he's God. Angie, don't listen to him, baby girl. Angie, baby, you're a special lady. You got a radio in your room with a secret lover who keeps you satisfied? Angie, baby, you're a special lady. I really wanted to meet Keith, Angie. Yeah. Wanted to see Dennis again. Yeah. Chuck Norris? Nah, I didn't really want to meet Chuck Norris. I didn't want to meet Steven Seagal either. I get sick of them using Chuck Norris's old CGI footage in a commercial to sell chicken for hostage for money by a bunch of millionaires who think their charities are real. I get sick of that shit. Yeah. One love, huh? You a sponsor for the extortion gigs at the arenas? Once you step into the arena, I don't want Michelle and Marianne and Keith cloned. I'm not insane. I don't want to trap the flesh. I trap the soul in a flesh prison to keep me happy and satisfied because I think I'm Commander Taggart and I'm dragging mines and shit, Commander Taggart, you saved us all. I'm not batshit crazy like you motherfuckers. Chicken pot pie. Right? I want people to live healthy lives, breathe clean air, drink fresh water, eat healthy food, live in adobe houses and houses like that, with basements, so there's no magic freon filter in the sky, and we're using as minimal amount of that kind of freezing, because it does work good if you use it effectively and intelligently. Refrigeration's a new culture, and I really like and appreciate it, but you really have to do things efficiently and intelligently to utilize it properly when necessary. Okay. Some areas it will hardly even be necessary at all, like Yukon Cornelius and Manitoba and Saskatchewan. We'll need basements here and well ventilation, but the way that the magic freon filter in the sky works, you have it ventilated out the back of the house, and the way that the sun works here with plants and creosote bushes. Have you noticed when you go driving around here, when you go to Albertsons, Lowe's, and all that stuff, and you see where the people go through and how they devastate the ecosystem when they go through and cash crop it and do whatever to it, and there's nothing but weeds grow there? And in the areas where they don't do that, how beautiful the creosote bushes and how nature grows to sustain plant life and to sustain so it doesn't have everything washed away with floods and all that, and to have environments that are real conducive for the local wildlife to flourish there, so the javelinas ain't coming up and trying to tear up your yard and stuff like that. Did you ever notice that? Bueller, anyone? I'm sure there are people at Western New Mexico University that are a lot like Jeff Hinton, sit there and go, yeah, he's right. Yeah, I know. And it's wrong to torture animals, to try to study their brain, to be what you perceive as a superior human being who linguistically manipulates everybody with your superior intellect because you feel inferior to them because you're not as sexually desirable or athletic. And once you understand that, you won't ever want to be a scientist again, telling me that my brain works like your dog's brain and you're way smarter than me and my dog. The bells are ringing for me and my dog. Remember that on Muppet Show? The bells are ringing for me and Gargal, and his girl was a gargoyle. It was funny with Quasimodo. It was stupid. It was very funny. Those guys were dorks. Yeah, they were. Come and play. Everything's A-okay. Remember Teresa's Little Records? Oh, I love trash. Anything. The one that she had was, he's a grouch. Mr. Grouch. He's the meanest man in town. Remember that one? Her little 45s, her little Sesame Street type 45 records. Patrice. He's a grouch. Mr. Grouch. He's the meanest man in town. Or be a grouch like him. Yeah. Someone's mean to me, I don't laugh and go ha ha ha. I get mad. It ain't bad to get mad. You guys are so fucking mean, man. Yeah. The thing is guys, I was having a conversation with Miss Bassett. I don't know why she goes by Miss Bassett, Mrs. Vance. Okay, out in the rec hall when I was shooting hoops. And I was trying to explain to her. She was like, I don't know my feelings and emotions. Like, how they have this obsession with hunting down and murdering me, shooting Herschel Steinsnyder in the face and monologuing over him. People like me, shooting Little Hawk in the back, stabbing his brother Crazy Horse in the back. Poisoning Pascal to death, things like that. And women get up and they migrate away from all the Templars trying to be the great seed for the Holy Grail shit that these wackadoodles do. And so, I can have a relative in the Bavarian Alps, and somebody finds a way. We're hard to kill. We're not impossible to kill. We know that from the Bible and how they hunt down and kill the apostles and stuff. And what they did with Hassan and Hussein and Ali and so that person gets killed, and then a woman who migrated on a boat who's of Jewish ancestry, is in Nebraska. You know, and then meets a guy who's Oglala, and they have a daughter. You know, they had a daughter years before that, and then she meets a white guy at a fort, and they get together and have a kid, and his name is Little Hawk, and then, you know what I mean? And so I can't tell you I'm not God, and I don't play God. I don't, you know, people migrate away to try to survive, you know, Exodus, movement of the people. So one, you know, 1322nd Redeemer, one of those lifetimes from then to now could be in the Bavarian Alps, and then as soon as they murder that person, the next one's born in Nebraska or California or wherever a woman migrates away to get away from the Knights Templars, you know. And so you can't really lock it down, and you can't really, you know, say, and because I have so much communications with so many people that are constantly talking to me saying, when is this all going to end? And in the future, they know. They're just not telling you because they know it needs to happen. And if you tell the devil when it's going to happen, the devil's going to make sure it doesn't happen. Okay, Lex Luthor? Okay. Flash gets killed, and then Superman kills Lex Luthor, and then, you know what I'm saying? And then the Mexican girl who's having the sexual relationship with the guy with no face takes his surveillance stuff and shoves it in on top of her whoopee, and then he gonna get that. You know? But he has no face. I don't understand it either, but we'll figure it out later. Or we could just forget about it altogether. Yeah, and then eliminate the having to save the animated bear from drowning. Right, because that's just insidious and ridiculous, since these people have bad imaginations. They do. Their Oompa Loompas are wackadoodle. Augustus Floop will now be harmed. Oh, Noah. Me and Natalie, no, it says, don't, dear children, be alarmed. Augustus Floop will not be harmed. And Noah goes, no, it's now be harmed. What do you mean? He just fell into a big thing of chocolate and got sucked into a tube. Maybe the other kids don't like him and they want him to be harmed because he's a big, fat, greedy nincompoop. And me and Natalie are both like, okay, who can argue with that logic? We're like, just let it go. Let it go. Because no one was convinced. Me and Natalie are like, no, he's saying, don't, dear children, be alarmed. Augustus Floop will not be harmed. It's like he says, no, it's now be harmed. And me and Natalie are like, no, Noah, you're just not listening. And then Noah explained it to us, and then we're like, you know, he makes a hell of a lot more sense than Deep Roy does. And then that lady that was prejudiced about me and Amy being together would sit there and complain because I'd wait till they closed. Okay? They closed, and then I'd let the kids go in the front room and put on Augustus Floop and do the Augustus Floop, right? And then she'd complain about all the noise they make. It's like, you're closing up. You're counting the drawer. You're in the back room doing that. The kids are in the front room doing the Augustus Floop. They waited all day to do the Augustus Floop. Okay, she closed down the Merc downstairs. You guys go ahead, have some fun. I kept those little kids quiet all day. But when people decide that, you know, it's Ruby's bucket of blood, you can't please nobody. You can fool some people, please some people all the time. You can't please some people sometimes. No, everywhere we went in Wyoming, you know, the cop following me every night. I got pissed at him. One time I told him about himself. I said, I've been working here almost 8 months. Okay, I am not selling drugs, not buying drugs. He just followed me home because he could, to let me know he was watching me. Mexican. And I was like, son of a bitch. He pissed me off. I got out and told himself in the alley. I said, hey, man, you know I come home from work every night here, and we do the same thing every night. You follow me home every night. And he said, yeah, I know. And then there was the one cop who liked me that came in and told me about Natalie and all that. And he was, but he couldn't control the cops in town. And some are assholes and some are good guys. And the guy that came and liked me and helped me, and the thing with Amy, with Natalie, and and taking her, and because of the birth certificate and all that, and he told me what was up. He knew. It was a small town. when the lieutenant had Kinski locked up because they took away their medical benefits, and the lady at the liquor store where they had groceries there, and I sit there and they were all talking shit, and one of the deputies was in the thing. I said, no, man, I understand exactly why those guys did that to your mayor, okay? Well, those cops, yeah, they pull you over. If you've been drinking and driving, somebody needs to pull you over and set you down for the night and get you to stop doing shit like that. You can't just do what you want to do. Okay? And those guys can get shot and killed trying to keep people safe from drunk drivers killing them. Okay? They have a tough job. Okay? Bob, my best friend Bob, was a cop, and Dave, who worked with me, was a cop for 20 years in Montana. Okay? We both wanted to beat the shit out of my second one-on-ones, Derek's mom. When she, damn you, Derek, had sex with your 17-year-old Down syndrome sister when you were 14, and then his brother wanted to have sex with her too, and you let him, and he was only the 13 or 12 or whatever, how young he was. And she was talking about what an irresponsible kid is because he should have been in charge, and he was in charge. He was 14, she was 17, but she had Down syndrome, and all mom did was go to the bar, bring home porn, have sex with guys right there in the living room, and the 17-year-old sister wanted to do it too and asked Derek if he would. And then the mom sitting there telling Derek what an irresponsible and terrible person he is because DES is at her house every week because of him. And me and Dave would sit there and monitor the phone calls and goes, that woman needs us. Yeah. And she can reproduce, yeah. She spends more time at the bar drinking beer, smoking, and watching porn, and yeah, same thing happened with Jason and his half-sister. Yeah. And she was the victim in town, and everybody took care of her and protected her. They sent Jason back to that same town. He tried to play on the football team and be the star player on the football team that he was at NSI. And he went to a party one night, and one guy called him on his crap, and Jason beat the shit out of him and almost killed him, and then spent the next tons of his life in prison because it used to be his town, used to be her town too. You never know till it all falls down. Somebody loves you, somebody loves you. And Jason was a good kid. You never met a better kid. Okay. His mom was the same way, and that's all they saw was mom bringing home guys from the bar and having sex with them with porno, and they both decided they wanted to experiment it too. It looked like fun. Yeah. My kids at NSI, and remember old Jeff, these fucking pervert kids, you can't love any of them. A lot of them fucked their own sisters, and when, Charles, because Nate didn't call him on it and wouldn't stop him because he wanted to show you the sex offender mentality. When Charles looked in my face and said, told me his ownership, why? My first offense was I sodomized my 3-year-old brother when I was 12 years old. And I sit there and go, okay, I didn't want to hear that, and I didn't ask to hear that. And he's smiling. And then Nate tells me, see, typical sex offender. So why didn't you fucking call him on it and tell him, no, I did a very terrible, horrible thing, and I was a horrible person that abused people the way they abused me, and I thought it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I hate the fact that I enjoyed it. And I never want to talk about it again, but I just want to tell you how horrible I was. But Nate Reynolds helped correct me because his Navy SEAL ass is better than my stupid ass. Good job, Nate Reynolds. Now sell some Cane's chicken fingers for your charity, you stupid son of a bitch. Get away from my kids. His dad did the same thing. Damn it, Brandon, and his dad had the same environment. Mm-hmm. How many guys meet women at bars, get them pregnant, and then their brain activity affects their kids, right? And then you try to help protect those people, but you can't because they won't get out of the house, they won't stop debt and trespass, and they won't stop fucking people's heads with science projects that are going to end all this Abrahamic religion, charismatic cult leader bullshit once and for all. Okay. Thanks, Angie. You do understand that you're I don't appreciate your business partners fucking with my dad's head and my sister's head, and how they, through the Mormon church, caused my mom's and dad's marriage to be unstable and have children conceived out of wedlock because they would not get the fuck out of my mom's bedroom and not let her, they had to, apparently, Roswell, they had to have people from wormholes from alternate universes come and say, stop fucking around with it and let her pick the man that is the proper sire for the kid who's going to fulfill the book if you want to get this job done. And they thought they were going to win because they couldn't forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal faithful peace. And there are alternate universes of the the people in propaganda with cartoons that seem innocent enough for kids, and Comic-Con and Jay and Silent Bob and Alanis Morissette saving the world with Jay and Silent Bob and Zelma Hayek, and was Ben Affleck in that movie too? That stupid movie me and Amy watched. These people, man. Was that Dogma? That was the dumbest fucking movie I ever saw. No, it wasn't. No. Druids, Dogma. It's half a dozen of one, six of another. If you want to live, you want to die. Okay, lightning bolts coming out of your ass. Huh? Is this the Oscar scene? But Klaus von Sydow's in this movie. Yeah. He was in The Hawaiians and The Greatest Story Ever Told. And The Hawaiians was a better movie. Yeah, it was. Surely this man was the son of God. Wait, they could have got a better actor for that part. Couldn't they got Charlton Heston? No, Charlton Heston was John the Baptist. Repent, right? He kept rewinding, and she goes, it's John Wayne. It's Ron Rain. Ron Rain. We're like, all these Shakespearean actors, Sidney Poitier carrying the cross, and Ernie Borgnine and all that stuff. And then we're like, okay, but that actor was terrible. That's not a Roman centurion. That's not an English accent like everybody else in the movie. Surely this man was the Son of God. I'm not gonna hit you. I'm not gonna hit you. Like hell, I'm not. And she kept rewinding it, and she goes, "Who was that?" And it's like, it's John Wayne. It is John Wayne. We laughed our asses off. Me and old Amy Sue. Oh, that was funny. I bet you we had sex that night. Yeah, I bet you we did. Yeah, whenever we had good times like that and stuff like that, I had some of the best sex of my life. Yeah, and then old Patrick. Why Amy? Because she was a lot more fun to joke around with and attempt to raise kids with the Mormon mob trying to ruin our lives. And she made ooh, you make love and fun. It's all I want to do. And I would always tell her, if you know how much we enjoy it, you'd never, every time we need it, you'd make sure we had it. And she couldn't do that. And she told me she couldn't. And she told me she was like Sybil, and she didn't understand her own thoughts, and she couldn't control her own thoughts. And just like with Steffi telling me all the things about, Patrick was born to save your life, and all these women want to have sex with you, and everybody wants you, and not everybody wants your husband. And then you're like, holy shit, my wives were right. And I wasn't wrong. I was just trying to tell them, girl, come on now. You make it seem like, our bedroom's the center of the universe. And that you're married to, okay. That our marriage is way more important than just, okay. No, there's not anything happening here to cause you to be crazy Sybil with deep emotional problems because, okay. And then okay. Wow, you guys are Kate Blanchett from The Biff, and I'm sure they ain't Keanu Reeves or Giovanni Ribisi. No. Like the guy at Las Cruces Biologicals. Earl, you want to meet these guys? They play you in a movie, and they suck at it. Denzel Washington, Edward Norton, Keanu Reeves, Willem Dafoe, Jim Caviezel. They try to play you in a movie, and they suck at it. Yeah, I agree. Well, because money ain't real, and pretending to be something you're not for money sucks, so stop doing it. And all the video games will go away, and then you don't have to do all these kind of interviews and shit, trying to, be somebody you're not for make-believe money. You got to be yourself and love your family and not to pretend to be something you're not for make-believe money there. It's just batshit fucking crazy there. Play basketball, it's fun, but money's not real. So don't give your time away for, a bunch of fake beads for an Oliver Stone movie, right? Okay, I love you. Peace out, man.